As I say these words, it has been 20 years since the original Devil May Cry came out. Crazy to think 20 years before that was Atari times. But hey, it's been a while. It is, dare I say, an old game. I hate saying that because I remember watching someone play it when I was a kid, and it was relatively new. For my Iceberg video, I replayed all the numbered Devil May Cry games in order from 1st to 5th. This was mostly for recording footage, but it also helped me really grasp the series' evolution over the years. See what changed, and a lot did. After doing all that, I see the franchise as existing in 3 eras. Era 1 is literally just the first game. It stands out in ways that will not be followed up on, but will be in games outside the franchise. The way you explore Malay Island reeks of Resident Evil, and a good deal of the creepy tone, when no one's talking, seeps into your brain like a biohazard. The sillier dialogue would return in Beautiful Joe, and in just about every way, Bayonetta feels like a proper spiritual successor, including the Space Harrier parts that no other DMC wanted to do. This game feels experimental, like the underwater part, or, and this is a favorite of mine, when some missions end, you don't go to the next mission. You get like this transitional part before you get to the menu. I don't know, I just really like it. Era 2 is Devil May Cry 2. It was rushed, didn't really work out, and while some minor details like twosome time, bloody palace, and quick gun switching carried over, the ethos of the game didn't really. Pretend this didn't happen. Era 3 is the last 3 games. The series was essentially rebooted with Devil May Cry 3. The priorities began a shift to combat that evolved over time to the detriment of the exploration the original game so very treasured. DMC5 is almost just a hallway. But story elements carried over a lot harder game to game, and considering how the ending of 5 mirrors the ending of 3, it feels like a trilogy. A lot can be said about how the characterization of all involved, especially Dante. He's different game to game, but you can absolutely see how Dante would work as a person and change as he ages. I don't want to talk about the reboot. Okay, so this video is really just about the original game though, right? Yes and no. As a game, I do think Devil May Cry is great, but considering how game design has evolved and more importantly DMC has evolved, does it still hold up? Can any gamer just pick it up and like it? Does it have to be qualified with a for its time? Does it compare well to the newer games? Exploration. More than any other locale, Malay Island feels feasible. There's a lot of inspectable background elements. While it doesn't paint a particularly vibrant picture, it does paint a picture of a Spanish island ruled by Castilian, attacked by pirates, and succumbing to demons. Mundus and his minions' evil corrupts the island, with the effects getting worse and worse as the game progresses. Places that you've seen before go dark and more dangerous upon your return. DMC3 has you backtrack through Temenigru as well, but since so little is spent in describing Temenigru, it just feels like here's the same place, but it's kinda broken now, instead of this castle island is being twisted by the ever-encroaching evil of Mundus. Combat. The combat is much less complicated in the later games, but it still has its charm. Enemies have gimmicks, the combat is slower, but still very impactful. Only occasionally does it not really work, and that's probably just my opinion, and a controversial one. But like, Final Phase Griffin is what I'm talking about here. Like, I get it, I know Air Raid wrecks him, but come on man, this camera, so far away you can't hit him with a sword, this is why people complain about the guns not doing enough damage. So the game's combat is fun, and it's nice to walk around in, but does it hold up? I don't know. Probably not the answer you wanted, but I just don't know, man. But why do I not know? The story, the characters. Dante in this game is wildly incongruous with how he will be. Childhood and trauma and all, I get it, but the whole mother thing with Trish is so awkward. Like, I'll literally forgive you for trying to kill me twice because you look like my mom. I just can't imagine the Dante from 3 through 5 saying these words. It's the delivery. The voice acting in this game is jank. It's funny, but also hard as Diamond dates this game to 2001. Again, biohazard in the brain. There's no escaping it. Whenever this game is in a cutscene, it feels very of its time. But it doesn't when you're playing it. Devil May Cry is a classic game. It is a classic game in the sense of people will not fight me when I say that. but Morrowind is a classic game too. But every time I try to play it unmodded, I bounce off it like profitability on Tumblr. Morrowind is good, don't get me wrong, but damn it, I want to hit the flying monsters every time, not be subjected to some arcane dice roll. And I get how cool it is that the fast travel's diegetic and not universal, and you have to carefully listen to what everyone says at all times, but I just don't find it that fun. But, I gotta stop saying but. Morrowind is still quite popular, and I do know of people who have played it long after release for the first time and loved it. Even with all the jank gameplay, they still have a ton of fun. And frankly, if you get over the jank, which I eventually did, Morrowind is pretty good. And good news, Devil May Cry isn't really jank at all, plays just fine. So you know what, the plot is kinda cringe, maybe very cringe, but it's still a fun game. Not a lot needs to be explained, you can pick it up and there you go. There's a lot of differences between Devil May Cry and Devil May Cry 5, but if you like one, I do think you'll like the other as long as you keep a bit of an open mind. Devil May Cry still holds up. It aged well. It could have aged a bit better, but there's good game design here. I love the environments, how unique every enemy is, and don't forget the style meter. One of the best gifts to action games in general. Turning the hard-to-grasp score meters from other games into something easily readable and understandable. Bayonetta should have kept it. What do these numbers mean? What's a good amount? But Devil May Cry is just like S's for stylish. A big impetus for this video getting made was Resident Evil 2 and 3 being remade. Or at least that's what put the question of DMC does it hold up in my mind. RE4 remake is probably coming, so in a weird way we kinda came back to the state that made Devil May Cry happen. A lot of online discussion was about how much we needed remakes of those games. Do they invalidate the originals? I'd say no. Tank controls, love them or hate them, aren't really something modern gamers want to put up with. But with Devil May Cry, the controls are fine, gameplay is fine, but I'd still like to see it get remade. I'd like to see these same events play out but directed by Hideaki Itsuno. I'd like to compare and contrast the changes, and most of all, I want Ruben Langdon to uncringify the Dark Soul with Light scene.
I should have been the one to save you. I should have been the one to tell you Dark Soul with...
Oh, okay. Thanks for watching the video. If you haven't played Devil May Cry yet, you know what? Give it a try. I'm really curious to see how a newcomer would appreciate it. That's all for now, and very soon there will be a video on Devil May Cry 2. Thanks. He's changed so much.